Are you ready, eager young space cadets?
Meep, meep.
I saw a pussy cat.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Now I'm going to be doing a mini review of the Looney Tunes cartoon Dynamite Dance. I've talked about this a little bit with the art of cartoons, and I'm excited to be just watching it again. I noticed that there are little music notes in the corners of the label around the title, and just the title itself evokes that classic 40s vibe, and it tells you you're going to be transfixed and you're going to feel nostalgic toward this. The reason why it's a mini review is because I feel like a 1 minute and 30-second clip doesn't exactly dictate a full review or allow for a full review. But we will, we'll discuss what we see. So it starts off with Elmer with a sigh, and Bugs is gracefully avoiding each attack of the medieval weapon, and just like immediately you are transfixed by the vibrancy of this. You have the classic designs. I mean, it looks like you could just frame each moment of this short. It's so lush and the characters are so on point. I eat it up. I love it. I have stopped it and Bugs is floating in the air. This is at the 15-second mark, and it's just like already like 15 seconds in, you've had a couple logos, and then you get this and you're just like, yes, this is my Looney Tunes. And I don't know. I just love the characterization, the expressions on the faces. You have like just the anger coming out of Elmer and the playful like joy of Bugs in this. And yes, he has the yellow gloves and he has like the pink ears, and it's such a great throwback to those Bob Clampett designs of characters, and now they're being put on these Tex Avery characters, and I love it to no end. Even Elmer has like the pink nose. It's so great. And also, whose choice was it that Elmer should have a sigh to begin with? So obviously Bugs is going to get the upper hand. Elmer swings and misses. Bugs grabs dynamite and shoves it in Elmer's mouth, where he then spits it out, and Bugs catches it right on cue, right on the beat. And they are playing every joke, every gag to the beat, which we haven't seen in so long. There's also a great gag with Bugs's fake ears coming up. Elmer grabbed ears and pulled them out of the hole, and they weren't attached to a body at all. They were just ears. And then there's a great sequence where he's surrounded by some dynamite. Bugs gets away, and the barrels go off. Then there's a water scene where Bugs jumps in the water, and Elmer takes on a small boat and paddles his way across the little lake there. Just again, the backgrounds are so lush and vibrant, and they have that descending fade of color, and it almost looks like a watercolor. And then you have the classic stretch and pull of the characters, which allows you such wonderful movements. And, every frame of this, I mean, you can even see whenever Elmer is shaking his head, there's multiple frames where you can see he has multiple faces, because everything is drawn, everything is planned out, and you're getting, obviously, like back in the day, there were 24 frames. You had to draw each of them out, and we have moved away from that to where it's been like 1 out of every 30 or 1 out of every 24, to where you're getting less and less drawings for your money. And obviously, like, this is a send-off to those classic 40s where you had all of the drawings out there. I was recently listening to Mel Blanc, and he talked about how every short, I know I said this incorrectly now, but every short takes 9 months, or took 9 months to make back in the 40s, 50s, and probably 60s. 9 months. Can you imagine that? Like you painstakingly draw every frame of it. And if one of those doesn't work, you have to go back and you have to fix it. So thankfully they recorded the scripts first. And Mel Blanc did all the voices. Well, he did a lot of the voices. He didn't do everything. June Foray obviously did Witch Hazel and Granny and a few others. But you have a bunch of different voices that are in there, and they're drawing to the voices. So, they had some direction, but overall, just the artistry behind this is just incredible. And I love that we're going back to that. So Bugs traps Elmer in a wooden log. This is reminiscent of one of those cartoons where they run down the log. I believe it was the big nap, or it was a play on The Big Sleep. It was the Elmer cartoon where he goes to sleep and Bugs is haunting his dreams. But yeah, they play homage to this because the log looks the same, and it's just sitting in the middle of the woods. Bugs this time has Elmer pop out of the middle of it, and he corks up the side of it, and boom, the dynamite goes off. Again, it's just play after play. You have the comedy stylings of those classic moments in the 40s where you had a punch and then you moved on, and it was just gag, and it was timed perfectly well to the music, and that's exactly what they're going for. That's exactly what they're bringing back. I had a friend that was telling me that he preferred that they do the gags on every other beat, but I feel like that would take too long, and they wanted to get the point across quicker for you to be sucked into the environment that they are creating and they're laying out. And they do that perfectly here in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Obviously it's 1 minute 40 seconds with the title. So I think it's actually like 1 minute 15 if you take away the titles. Or actually it's a minute because there's 15 seconds of in titles as well. So we're only getting 1 minute here, and every second of this is just amazing. You have the stretching of Elmer on the unicycle looking into the camera and then being pulled back and into the scene where Bugs is tossing dynamite into his hands, and he's juggling them, and then obviously they're going to explode. And then he gets pushed off onto some train tracks, and Bugs is there, the stinker that he is, exploding even more dynamite on the train tracks, and it sends Elmer up into a plane that Bugs is flying. And if you haven't watched this again, obviously, if you're a Looney Tunes fan, you've seen this. If you haven't, I highly recommend you stop listening to this. You go to YouTube and you look at the Warner Brothers TV page. Their channel has the cartoon uploaded. It's called Dynamite Dance, and please watch it and then come back. The vibrancy of the bangs. So right now, Elmer is in the center of my screen. Bugs is stage left, and Elmer he has just been blown up, and he has those markings on him. He has those dirt marks on his face and on his clothes, but he's surrounded by a flash of purple, and then outside of that is red background. How great is that? That is an artistic choice, and I am here for it all day. The purple sky is surrounding them, and Bugs is skydiving again, which is, I believe, a reference to the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where he and Mickey are skydiving, and he hands Bob Hoskins the spare.
Hey, what's up, Doc? Jumping without a parachute? Kinda dangerous, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get killed.
You guys got a spare?
Bugs does.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think you want it.
I do. Give it to me.
Gee, better let him have it, Bugs.
Okay, Doc. Whatever you say. Here's the spare.
Here, Elmer is just being handed dynamite over and over and over again. it's really great. The dynamite gets bigger. The dynamite gets smaller. And then Bugs floats down with an umbrella. Again, the coloring of the umbrella is blue, which complements the background, and it doesn't take away from anything going on in the background. You have Elmer rushing up, floating again in the air, and his arms are big. Again, he is just like stretching and he's being pulled in all sorts of different directions, and it adds so much to the overall feel of the animation. You have the gritty action lines that are bleeding into, like, for example, think about this. If Elmer is running and you see a smudge of a shoe that is from a position he was at before, you feel that motion. Modern cartoons don't do that, but this is doing that. I paused it, and Bugs has, I believe, 6 fingers right now because he's running, and that motion of him running, you see the movement, and it's just, we don't get this. We don't get this anymore, but we're going to again. So the stretch and pull, the action, the animation, the care, there's a birthday cake of dynamite. There's just everything. So yes, and it ended. It has ended. It is Looney Tunes Cartoons Coming Soon title page at the 1:15 mark again. This started basically at the 15-second mark, so it's only a minute. I wish it was longer. I wish we had more tangible stuff to watch. I know Eric Bauza has been tweeting and Instagramming. If you're not following at Bauzilla on Instagram or Twitter, you really should be, because he is posting that he is working on specific characters. He just posted yesterday that he's going to be working on a Granny and Tweety and Sylvester, and I think, it was just those 3 on one page. And then on a separate page, he had Daffy. And Eric Bauza's Daffy is out of this world, as close to Mel Blanc as possible, but bringing in a fresh voice to it. I mean, it's uncanny, really. And I cannot wait. I wish this one had dialogue. I really do. But it's only a minute. Obviously, they're transfixing you on, we're going to go back to those early styles of animation. We're going to make the smudges there. We're going to make the action lines move. It's going to feel new and exciting, and also a throwback. It's so great. And even the logo design, the rings, and obviously you can tell that I was inspired by the rings as well. The classic, Toon-like entrance to Looney Land, if you will. But yes, everything is updated, and it feels fresh, and it feels nostalgic, and I'm just here for it. So that was our mini review of Dynamite Dance. This is obviously being propelled forward by Pete Brownguard, and I failed to mention that on the earlier podcast when I reviewed The Curse of the Monkey Bird. Pete Brownguard directed that short, and I believe he executive produced this one. But he is all over this. If you don't know him, he's from Uncle Grandpa, but he brings such a love to these Looney Tunes shorts that I cannot doubt that his direction is the right way to go. Just the overall work that's being done here is phenomenal, and a big congratulations goes out to the team behind these, because over at the Ottawa Animation Festival a couple weeks ago, they won Best Young Audience Award for animation toward young audiences with Curse of the Monkey Bird. So congrats to Pete Brownguard and Eric Bauza and everyone over there at Warner Brothers that's doing a phenomenal job.